And in the hope of fleeing Taliban rule, thousands of fearful Afghans and foreigners have surrounded Kabul's Hamid Karzai International Airport. As the final date of withdrawal approaches, a terror attack warning has been issued for Kabul airport. Near identical warnings from London, Canberra and Washington have urged people gathered in the area to vacate and move to a safer location. The United States has warned crowds trying to access Kabul airport to leave the area, citing unspecified security threats. The U.S. State Department said in the advisory those at the Abbey Gate, East Gate or North Gate should leave immediately. London issued a similar warning that read, the security situation in Afghanistan remains volatile. There is an ongoing and high threat of terrorist attacks, further adding, those in the area of the airport must move away to a safer location and await further advice. Canberra has also urged its citizens and those with a visa for Australia to leave the area, as Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs warned of an ongoing and very high threat of terrorist attack. Australia has been evacuating its citizens and visa holders for more than a week from Kabul airport.
In place, they continue even now, but the situation is deteriorating, and we will continue to operate safely, but paramount in our operations ensuring the safety of those Australians who are directly involved in the evacuation effort.
We have changed our travel advice early this morning. Our clear travel advice is now, do not travel to Hamid Karzai International Airport. And if you're in the area of the airport, move to a safe location and await further advice. Afghanistan remains highly volatile and dangerous. Be aware of the potential for violence and security threats with large crowds. There is an ongoing and very high threat of terrorist attack.
Washington and its allies have been flying thousands of Afghans out of the Kabul airport every day, but the task has become increasingly difficult. Distraught Afghan families have tried to access the airport, which is encircled by the Taliban and Western military checkpoints. At least 8 people have died in the airport chaos. Many are left clamoring for ways to leave the country, as some evacuation flights are already winding down. US President Joe Biden has warned that a group linked to the Islamic State called Islamic State Khorasan is seeking to target the airport. The latest warnings have heightened the risk that scores of Afghans holding visas could be left behind. And for more on this story, we're now being joined by our correspondent Anas Malik, who's been tracking all the developments from Ground Zero. Anas, thank you for joining us. A terror attack warning has been issued for the Kabul airport. What can you tell us about this?
Absolutely, a terror attack warning has been issued by US authorities instructing their own nationals to stay away from the Kabul airport because remember, just 3 to 4 days ago there was a threat assessment issued by the French intelligence that said that ISIS or the Islamic State might just be attacking the Kabul airport. We saw some reports in a section of the Afghan media on Tuesday that about 4 ISIS members were arrested outside the Kabul International Airport. A question was also put across to the Taliban spokesperson Zabiullah Mujahid on Tuesday during his press conference, but he had dodged or evaded that as well. There is an existing threat, analysts here say, because the fact that the Taliban are now in coordination with the US, and therefore the IS also considers US as their enemy. Therefore, they might just be attacking the Taliban. That can result in civilian casualties as well. The reason they have been asked to stay away from the airport, but that has not, this threat alert has not let the Afghan people go away from the airport, who desperately wait in greater numbers outside the Kabul airport's military side on all of its 7 gates, be that be the North Gate, be that be the South Gate, be that be the Abbey Gate, or be that be the Barron Gate as well. These are the 4 gates that I've been there, and there are people scores in numbers, at least 25,000 to 30,000 people who are outside, about 5,000 to 6,000 people that are inside. The US has been rapidly increasing the number of evacuation flights that have been taking place in order to bolster up or boost its efforts to ensure the SIV or special immigration visa applicants to get to safety. But at this point of time, with time running out, with the deadline just approaching, that is the 31st of August, that it seems that not all of the deserving Afghans would be able to head out.
Right, Anas, I was just going to come to that. The deadline is fast approaching. The evacuation process is at risk. How do you see the situation unfolding here?
Well, yes, the evacuation process is currently ongoing, but it won't be wrong to say that the Taliban are pretty much in charge on the outer side of the airport. They control the ins and outs of who goes in the airport, who comes out of the airport, minus those evacuation flights that are organized by the embassies themselves. There are 2 embassies that are organizing evacuation escorts. First being the Qatari embassy. We saw that day before yesterday. They're doing escorts, evacuation escorts on almost daily basis. And then we're seeing the same being done or organized by the Pakistani embassy as well here in Kabul. The other embassies, they would just drop a mail to the deserving candidate and they would ask them to get to that particular gate. How would they get to that particular gate? Nobody knows. It's totally on your luck. Yesterday I was at the East Gate. The Taliban are pretty much in charge. The Taliban commander there claimed to have to be allowing those who are deserving, who have a confirmation. But my 40 minutes of being there at the most closest checkpost or the last checkpoint where the Taliban would actually allow people to go from that point beyond to the gate, I did not see in those 40 minutes anybody being allowed to go to the gate, though this is a claim and that could not be independently verified. So Afghans continue to wait in desperation, in despair, in hope that they would be able to make it out safely out of the country, because they've helped the US forces or allied forces at some point, and they consider that they are under greater risk or under greater threat by the Taliban. Him?
Right, Anas. Thank you so much for joining us with all the latest from Ground Zero. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.